There is nothing better than the company of a pet, like a cat or a dog. These little animals can fill a space in our hearts that many times not even another human being can. However, there are cases in which they went far beyond just keeping us company, becoming true heroes, capable of saving us from insane dangers. That is exactly what we will see here today. And that video where a tiny kitty faced a dog to save a child, the scene was recorded by a security camera in front of a store on January 1st, 2023, and in a short time, it already had hundreds of thousands of views. In the recording, a girl appears playing on a bicycle when, out of nowhere, a dog runs toward her. The child tries to escape, first pedaling, then running, but the animal keeps chasing her, about to catch up. It looked like she was about to get a bite, except that when it seemed there was no way out, an unlikely hero appeared. A small black cat runs toward the dog. With absurd courage, he stares down the bigger animal and scares it off. The dog, which seconds earlier seemed relentless, runs away, completely demoralized. The video became a symbol of how sometimes roles are reversed. Instead of the stereotype of the cornered cat and the tough dog, what we saw was the opposite, a determined feline defending a defenseless child. Internet users showered the little one with praise, calling him a hero and proving that size, in this case, meant nothing. At the Black Jaguar White Tiger Zoo in Mexico City, Mexico, a keeper was inside the big cat's enclosure, calm, not realizing that a leopard was coming from behind, ready to attack him. Suddenly, before anyone could react, a tiger that was also in the space entered the scene. He ran toward the leopard and blocked the advance, preventing the animal from reaching the man. The video of the moment went viral in 2016 and made one point clear that specialists always reinforce: never turn your back on a feline. For them, this gesture can be interpreted as a sign of vulnerability, as if the person were easy prey. Many people who watched the video debated whether the leopard really wanted to attack or if it was just feline play that, given the size and strength of these animals, could end very badly. The tiger, just in case, did not take the risk, intervened quickly and thus avoided direct contact. The scene divided opinions on the internet, but one thing everyone agreed on: whether out of protective instinct or territorial dispute, the tiger ended up acting like a true hero at that moment. As accustomed as they may be to people, big cats are still wild animals. On that day, the difference between a scare and a tragedy may have been only the tiger's quick reaction. In Rondônia, Brazil, a pit bull became a hero by saving a child from danger and was recorded by a security camera. It all started when a boy was walking down the street and a dog ran toward him. The situation could have ended very badly, but the unexpected happened. Another neighborhood dog, a caramel-colored pit bull, noticed what was happening and rushed to defend the boy. The animal even broke the chain that restrained him to run to the child and drive the other dog away. In the images, you can see the dog going through the gap in the gate and going straight in. In seconds, the risk that seemed inevitable was under control. Residents who witnessed the episode made a point of calling the pit bull a hero. The irony lies precisely in the stereotype. This breed is often associated with fear and violence, but that day, the pit bull showed exactly the opposite: protective instinct and courage. So much so that the very journalist who covered the case was impressed by the size of the dog, even commenting that he felt afraid of it just by looking at it from the other side of the fence. The episode went viral and reignited the debate about the pit bull breed, this time with a positive tone. For that child, the hero did not wear a cape or a uniform. He had 4 paws and a sharp nose for where the danger was. In the Philippines, 2 dogs showed that the protective instinct can go to the last consequences. The case happened in Kidapawan City when a venomous snake tried to enter the home of the Salim family, where little Sky, only 1-year-old, was sleeping in her room. Security cameras recorded everything. First, Moxie, a 2-year-old white dachshund, lunged at the reptile, trying to block the entrance. Soon after, Miley, 4 years old, joined the fight, trying to bite the snake. It even tried to slither into the house, but ended up being pulled by the dogs into the street. It was 2 minutes of intense confrontation. In the end, the snake gave up and left. At the time of the attack, the girl's parents, Jaime and Paui, were out, while the child slept under the care of a nanny. When he saw the images afterward, Jamie said he was in shock, but at the same time filled with pride for what the dogs did. The story went around the world, moving people with the example of canine loyalty. In the end, the girl's life was preserved thanks to the courage of 2 4-legged companions who did not hesitate even in the face of a deadly enemy. In California, a dog weighing only 9 kilos showed that courage does not depend on size. In Monrovia, a city surrounded by forested areas, security cameras recorded the moment when a French bulldog named Jules faced nothing less than 3 young bears in the backyard. The animals had left their natural habitat and were about to enter the house when they were surprised by the home's security. Jules did not think twice. He started barking non-stop and went after the intruders, chasing them until they retreated. In the video, you can even see the bears trying to resist, but the little dog's persistence was such that the trio ended up jumping the fence and looking for another place to explore. The scene impresses because, given the difference in size, anyone would say that Jules would lose this fight. Only his confidence was enough to turn the game around. Jules's owner said that after the adventure, she rewarded the little hero with a long bath and his favorite treat. The video went viral, showing that sometimes the protective instinct speaks louder than fear. At the end of this story, the bears were left without a backyard to invade, and Jules earned the title of the family's official guardian. Let's go straight to a moment of pure adrenaline up in Alaska, United States. A woman was enjoying the day in her backyard with her 2 dogs when something went very wrong. While one of the dogs remained cautious on the porch, the woman went down the backyard steps without noticing the lurking danger. Suddenly, a giant moose emerged from behind the shed, probably feeling threatened or protecting calves. The animal charged at her. The woman, frightened, stumbled and was vulnerable in the middle of the yard. That was when her other dog, a Rottweiler, entered the scene without fear of the huge moose. The dog ran in front of his owner, positioned himself between her and the moose, and managed to push the animal back into the forest. In seconds, the moment of danger was diffused thanks to the dog's agility and courage. The video, captured by a security camera, quickly went viral, showing not only the dog's bravery defending his human, but also how life in certain regions of Alaska can be complicated, so close to wild nature. In the end, the woman was unharmed, the yard returned to silence, and the Rottweiler earned his deserved recognition. Everything was normal on a street in Angol, in southern Chile, when a student was approached by 2 men in a car. They got out and threatened her, demanding that she hand over her phone. The girl panicked, started screaming for help, but it seemed that no one would show up. But an unlikely hero appeared in the form of a stray dog. The animal ran up and went after the assailants, barking non-stop. The reaction was so intense that the 2 ended up giving up the approach and fled in fear back to the car. Everything was recorded by a security camera. The student's family reported the case, and after the investigation, the criminals were identified and arrested. According to the city's public prosecutor's office, they were convicted of robbery with intimidation and will have to serve more than 5 years in a closed regime. And the dog's act of bravery ended up drawing attention on social networks. Videos of the moment went viral, with many people commenting that he was a true canine guardian angel. Some even compared his reaction to the instincts that we humans often set aside, perceiving danger and reacting without thinking twice. The girl very likely managed to escape unharmed, and the attackers ended up in jail thanks to the dog's brave attitude, which earned the respect of the whole world. In Georgia, a stray dog named Kupata became a sensation on social networks for a very special reason: helping children cross the street safely. The video that went viral shows Kupata, 4 years old, jumping in front of cars and barking at inattentive drivers while a group of school children follows the teacher toward a park. For the dog, this routine became a daily mission, and neighbors say he never misses. What began as a protective gesture ended up earning official recognition. The region's Department of Tourism in Ajara awarded Kupata, giving him a doghouse and a star reminiscent of the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame. The inscription, "Public's Favorite," celebrates his courage and dedication. The dog's story was published in newspapers and on social networks, accumulating millions of views. What draws attention is the intelligence and punctuality, even more so for a stray dog. Kupata does not hesitate to face the unpredictable traffic of Batumi, protecting the children like a true 4-legged bodyguard. He is practically a super dog. In Sao Paulo, Brazil, a night ended with scenes worthy of an action movie. A taxi driver was returning from the market with his wife, his little daughter, and a baby when 3 robbers surrounded the family at the door of their home. The criminals demanded the car, groceries, and cell phones, while one of them was already trying to take the driver's seat. The scariest detail is that inside the car, there was the child, strapped into the car seat. The mother noticed the situation and, without thinking twice, ran to the residence and released the family's dog, a 4-year-old pit bull named Pietra, who immediately went after the robbers. animals. The pit bull ran toward the group, which fled in different directions. The entire scene was recorded by the street's security cameras. The family escaped without injuries, but still suffered a loss, about $562. The case was registered at the city's police district. So far, no one has been arrested, but the Public Security Secretariat reported that policing in the area has been reinforced. Despite the losses, Doña Maria, the mother who released Pietra, said she had no doubts. She stated that material goods can be regained, but her daughter they could not take. It was precisely her courage together with the dogs that prevented the worst. A story that shows how the difference between tragedy and relief can come down to a matter of seconds and sometimes to forepaws. There are people who say that dogs are four-legged angels, and when you hear stories like this one, it is hard to disagree. Max is a service dog trained to help people with epilepsy. He lives with Sarah, who has faced the disease for years, and what is impressive is how the animal can sense the signs even before she does. During a recent episode, Max identified subtle changes in his owner's behavior and even in her smell, things a human would never notice. He began to bark and get agitated, practically telling her to sit down because the seizure was coming. It was the time Sarah needed to prepare, avoiding a fall or something worse. Dogs like Max go through long training. They learn to recognize chemical changes in the human body minutes before a seizure. In addition, they can seek help, activate alarms, or even position themselves to protect the handler during the attack. In Sarah's case, Max's role goes far beyond health. He gives independence, confidence, and safety in everyday life. He is not just a pet. He is a partner who ensures she is not alone in the face of an unpredictable condition. Stories like this illustrate how canine loyalty truly has no limits. A security camera in India, located in the city of Rishikesh, recorded something that quickly spread around the world. A group of children was playing in the street when a stray dog started running after them. It seemed that this story would end badly, but a German shepherd sprang into action. The animal was calmly on the house porch, watching the movement. When he noticed the danger, he went on alert, jumped off the porch, and went after the dog that was bothering the children. The stray had no chance and ended up running away, while the children managed to escape. The video went viral on the internet, yielding many compliments for the German Shepherd. People even said he had more courage and attitude than any human being. But there were also critics, saying that the dog only reacted instinctively, as any dog would do when another enters its territory, and that none of this had to do with heroism. The recording gained even more repercussion because it appeared a few days after a controversial decision by India's Supreme Court. The court ordered that all stray dogs in Delhi and surrounding areas be taken to shelters, alleging increasing risks of attacks and rabies cases, mainly against children. Hopefully, this action will prevent scenes like this. Children will be able to play without risks, and the dogs will also get health care. A cameraman in Sao Paulo, Brazil, ended up recording something that looked like it had come out of a cartoon: a cat dueling with a snake. The footage happened on a Thursday, the 16th, and in a few seconds, it already drew attention on the internet. In the video, the cat appears attacking the reptile with quick bites and swats, while the snake tries to defend itself. The curious thing is that it hardly reacts aggressively, it just writhes trying to escape. In the end, he bites the snake's tail and runs off with it in his mouth, as if it were a prize. The cameraman Armando Neto, 39 years old, said he managed to capture only the final moments, but the dispute began earlier. The cat had dragged the snake from one side of the street to the other until they disappeared together into the brush. Armando said he had already seen cats hunting insects, but he never imagined they would face a snake like that. A resident who also witnessed the scene thought it was just a cat with a toy or a piece of plastic having fun. He did not imagine it was a real snake, unusual for us to see in the middle of the city. But there is the proof in the video for those who did not believe it. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.